Alright guys, alright. Sorry I've been gone yet again. Look, to be honest, I've been busy. I've been trying to get this machinima done. I'm literally writing scripts and writing stories and writing episodes. I've got a bit of a writer's block at the moment. I can't think of a reason for a story for a prospector and stuff like that. But regardless, but I do wonder. I was going to take this week off and last week to sort of get that sort of stuff done, so they'll come back fresh in the new year. But this just keeps happening. So I did do a recording about a week ago, where I talked about the Jack Murphy thing, and I was going to upload it, and I was going to schedule it so that it would upload over the next couple of days. I had 3 stories that I recorded, but the fact is that this story has changed a lot. So I'm going to recover what I covered there very quickly. And at the end of the day, I'm then going to talk about this new stuff that's come out, because he's now been exposed for chatterbait. But let's jump into it. So, some of you may have not heard, if you have, please get out from under the rock that you're living on, that Jack Murphy went on a Sydney Watson and Elijah Schaefer podcast called You Are Here. Sydney Watson read out 2 super chats at the time. The first super chat she read out was about this article thing that he wrote about, and at the end of the day, he sort of dismissed it and said he didn't want to talk about it. And then Sydney Watson read out another article. Now another super chat, and he kind of lost his shit. So we're going to play both clips here. To be honest, Sydney did nothing wrong, right? So Elijah Schaefer and Sydney Watson will read out all their super chats. Right? And I don't think it was malice. I think at the end of the day, Sydney was just buried trying to get through the super chat. She wasn't really necessarily reading them out in advance. And at the end of the day, she read it out and probably didn't realise what was happening the second time. But let's jump into that. This is I believe, the first one.
On.
Yes.
Get out of town.
That is why the super chats mean a lot to us.
They're the advertisers.
Supporting us.
Thank you.
Because you guys are the advertisers. That's why we try to get through all of these and read all your
All
comments.
right, I got a few
Even
more.
if you're trapping me. No, I want to read this one first. Because I started it, and I'm going to finish what I started. Anamorphosis says, Elijah, and I apologize for this in advance, Jack, asked Murphy about the article he wrote about literally cuckolding his wife. I wish I was joking. True alpha.
Wow.
True.
Wow, you went there with that. I have absolutely no comment on that other than to say that whatever people's perception is about that, it's 180 degrees wrong.
Spoiler alert, it's not. Okay, spoiler alert, the new chatterbait stuff come out, it's not.
And it has nothing to do with people think what they're thinking it to be.
Spoiler alert, it does. So this is the second super chat. This is her talking about it again.
It's true. Brett Ain't Dad said, unfortunately, the proliferation of technology leads to authoritarian collectivism. Future looks gay. Merry Christmas, Sid and Jack and Elijah.
Mr. Dick and Bowles says, hey, Jack.
See, that's what she does. She does this. Like, she reads it like that's normal. Like, she's not even saying, I'm not going to skip the name. She just goes, Mr. Dukenball said.
Could you please clear up the cuck article you wrote?
I am not going to talk about
Again?
this.
Okay.
And basically, you know what? Fuck you for bringing this up right here and right now.
Me?
Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Elizabeth-
Heartfelt.
Elizabeth Harrison says, gonna miss the show, but have a good break. IHTAC, what's that?
Now, that in itself was that last one was the one that went through and went viral. I didn't even realize about this part, and this is the end of it too. This is the end of the show. This is what happened.
A few weeks. Like I said, stay safe and well. Have a great rest of your evening.
Watch Jack Murphy when he gets up, and watch him and Sydney Watson and Elijah interacting.
Have a great weekend and a Merry Christmas.
So there's Jack there, there's Sydney, and there's Elijah. Just gets up and walks out. Now, after this, apparently Elijah and Jack went out for drinks and apparently smoothed it all over, and Sydney got an apology, and whatnot. But then a couple of days later, Jack decided to literally stick his proverbial dick in a beehive and go through and address this on Tim Pool. And he acted far, far different than he did with Sydney. Look, this is me not white knighting for Sydney for a start. Yes, I think Sydney's hot. Who doesn't? But at the end of the day, she's a big girl. She can handle herself. At the end of the day, I do think the way that Jack reacted was completely disgusting. You don't talk to people like that at all. I don't care if it's male or female. You don't say F you on their podcast. You don't abuse them while you're a guest on someone's podcast, no matter what might come up. And it's not like it's Sydney saying, hey, I got a question for you about this. It's actually a super chat that she's reading out. And she even says, there's a video that I should have linked it actually. There's a video where she actually addresses this issue now. She's actually come out and spoken out about it. And she turned around and said that she wasn't even sure if he was angry at her or the super chat at first. So at the end of the day, the way he reacted was completely disgusting. Regardless of whether it's a male or female. It's the fact that you're a guest on someone's podcast and you're talking to people like this. This is disgusting. I would never even think about doing it if I was on someone else's show. Secondly, the way he acted is not alpha. Now, this is my biggest problem with this whole situation, is the fact that he is supposedly this alpha guy, right? Alpha Chad, right? Alpha Chad Jack. He's here to teach men how to be masculine, right? Yeah, pay him X amount of money a month, and you can learn to be masculine too. And he has this slightly New World Order cultish sort of thing that he runs, where men pay him. I think it's called Limited Order or something like that. Where you can pay, I think it's like so many dollars a month or something like that to get all these information and blah, 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 blah. This is not masculine. The way you act here...
I don't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of fuck here and right now.
Me?
Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't...
This is not masculine. Why are you doing this to me? This is leftist behaviour. This is cuckery. This is... Well, look, he's literally a cuck. But what I was going to say was, at the end of the day, the easiest way to deal with this is to laugh and say, yeah, it was probably a bad take. Or, yeah, that was written 7 years ago. I think it was 7 years ago. 7 years ago, that's a bad take. My views have changed. Now, obviously, we've now since found out that he hasn't. But, well, not as much as he's claiming anyway. But at the end of the day, that would have been the best way to respond. If he had responded to this like that, nothing probably would have come about it. For example, and to back up that statement...
Wrong. And it has nothing to do...
This is how he answered it the first time. No one even bothered clipping that. In fact, people only found that after they watched him flip out the second time. Right, so the mere fact that people weren't necessarily clipping... it's probably a couple of people clipped it, but you know what I mean. Vast majority of people did not care about this response. That in itself is showing that this is how you should have reacted to it both times. Not just once, but both. I get it. Someone's asked you a super chat yet again about the same thing that, by the way, you've already addressed. Fine. Well, sort of addressed. You dodged it, but whatever. But at the end of the day, that's how you should have addressed it. The second time, laughed and said, yeah, bad. There was a bad thing. Yeah, it was a bad take. Yeah, my views have changed. Whatever it may have been. Right? And then you go on Tim Pool's show. And, you turn around and, yeah, sure, you admit that, you've apologised to Sydney and Elijah and blah, 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 right? Sure. But you also seem to be sort of trying to pass the buck a bit. You were sitting there going on about, like, oh, she shouldn't have read it. And you seem to be blaming her for reading out the super chat. And I should have linked that, I suppose, but I didn't. But, like I said, that was my problem with it. Originally, my problem was that you're supposedly this alpha male, you're supposedly selling this program to men about how to become alpha men, and you react like a little bitch when someone questions you twice about something. That's not alpha, Jack. Okay? That's pussy behavior. Quite literally. Right? And then it gets worse. Because obviously now people have gone through and what happened was people started tweeting at him. This is the article that he was talking about here. Right? You know, cultivating an erotic energy from a surprising source. To literally read the article to you. Today, I sent my adoring, loyal, hot girlfriend of 2 years to have sex with a stranger from Tinder. She is currently at his apartment, checking in with me via text. Is presumably sucking and fucking her way to a good time. I'm alone writing. Could be happier. This is the article that people were talking about, right? Now, before you write me off as another Salone.com freak who wants to be a cuckold of some kind, but this has been a cuckold. So, at the end of the day, yeah, that was the original article that flipped it all off. And, you know, it wasn't just that article, obviously, at the end of the day. There was a couple articles he wrote. But, to be honest, I don't care about this. I don't care if he wants to be a cuckold. I don't care if he wants to write about cultivating sexual energy from surprising sources or any of that sort of shit, right? What I care about is you being a hypocrite. You supposedly sit there going on about masculine men and how to become masculine and selling this program to men when you literally act like a little bitch. I would much rather take advice from Fresh and Fit right now than you, Jack. In fact, you, Fresh and Fit, probably could all start a new podcast together. You've all been exposed. Right? But anyway. So, that's the article that started off. And then, of course, the meme started. Right? And, you know, then we've got this, which is... Actually, I think it's Stargate, actually. And then, you think being a cuckold is good enough to write articles about? I'm tired of people pretending it's not. And then, obviously... And this is what I mean by you keep digging yourself into a hole. Because he then turned around and tried to send a DM to a lawyer claiming that he will sue them. You realize Rakita Law is actually a lawyer, right? He's literally said this in his videos. He's actually a lawyer. And you want to try and sue him. Okay, this is Rakita's Law's view on it.
But, and I wouldn't be talking about this. I actually wouldn't be talking about this but for the fact that someone slid into my DMs and suggested maybe I take down my tweets. But, and I...
So, at the end of the day, and then there was this...
bingo card at the beginning of this year.
Oh, hang on. We don't want to get to that. We want to keep this in chronological order, right? So, he went through and he started blocking people on Twitter, and he's blocked almost everybody that's criticised him, so I'm expecting a block from Jack Murphy. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's literally him just going on this block rampage. His partner... She went through and she's put her account on private now. He's put his account on private now. You can only see the tweets if they're following him, or if he's following you or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, yeah, and of course the whole time the quartering is literally having a field day, literally ripping Jack apart because of this cuckery situation. Right, and then it got so much worse for Jack, because we went through and someone on the internet has found this: Sexy Ray XO and Big Bad Beard. So they're a couple in the US. The last broadcast was 2 years ago. And, yeah. I'm not going to show you all of the photos that we have that came out from these live streams. But...
We've had other girls, other guys.
3 and 4 girl. Yes, we've had other guys join us.
We've had other girls, other guys.
That was 2 years ago. And then obviously Jack has reacted very badly to this as well. But obviously the memes keep saying, like, obviously the guy that she went and did all sorts of things with is named as Matt. And then there's this, his name is Matt. Jack Murphy's right. It keeps going and going and going. So there's a thing called the Sperm Wars, which is, a cuck film. We have this, sir, please F my wife. Like, don't get me wrong, she's hot. She is really, really hot, right? But I don't know if I'd become a cuck because she's that hot. No, I wouldn't. I don't do that shit. Here's the thing, right? If you call up to bed to this every night, you don't want other guys dropping off some mail. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Right? At the end of the day, if this was my wife, I wouldn't want anyone else fucking her. I don't care if him and her want to go through and do a chatterbait thing, right? Hey, at this point, they probably should just kick open their career again because it's going to be really popular. But at the end of the day, I don't care if you want to go and do that. I care about when you start sticking silicone up your own ass. That actually happened too. I have photos of that. I'm not going to show them. There's literally chatterbait with him. Look, him and her having sex and this sort of stuff. This sort of stuff, right? Whoop-de-doo, is he a bad conservative? Sure. By the way, apparently it's $99 a month for his limited order thing. But this sort of stuff, although he is smelling her armpits, so it's a little bit weird. But at the end of the day, if you and your girlfriend want to go on there and fuck and stuff like that and get paid thousands of dollars, sure, go for it. Join, go for it. I don't care. I don't care what you do. You're probably not a real good example of a conservative, especially, and look, at the end of the day, look, we all fuck in our private lives, right? But here's the thing. You were the one that put it on Chatterbait. You were the one that put it on the internet. So at the end of the day, and now he's claiming it's revenge porn. Sorry, hate to tell you, Jack. It's not revenge porn when you literally upload it yourself, dipshit. But anyway, so at the end of the day, look, I don't care about him and her fucking on Chatterbait. I don't care. I think it's kind of whack that he's sitting there sticking dildos up his own ass. But at the end of the day, hey. So now, supposedly he's going through and he's getting a war room together. I need help. Someone start a war room, please, who are willing to do some research. This guy posted revenge porn of my wife. It's not revenge porn. When you literally go through and you post the images and videos to Chatterbait yourself. That's a crime. No, it's not. No, it's not a crime. No, it's not. He has incited violence against my wife. Just read this, will you? This guy, I need help. I need someone to do some research. People are doing research. The guy posted revenge porn of my wife. That's a crime. He's incited violence against my wife. Sydney and Elijah have supported him in his incitement. Does this sound like a fucking conservative? Or does this sound like a bitch fucking Democrat? This sounds like a little bitch. I need a room, then people added if you're willing to help. I hate to drag you guys in this, but I need help with the research and categorizing stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Jack be like digging his hole. So it's not incitement. It's not revenge porn or anything like that. And you're literally slandering the recording right now. But yeah, at the end of the day, obviously the chatterbait video of photos are up on Twitter. I don't want to post them merely because A, I don't want to have to show you him sticking things up his ass, or B, I don't want to show you them because I don't want to give him an excuse to take this video down. So at the end of the day, there's that, right? I don't want YouTube to sort of side with Jack because it'll be the first time. So at the end of the day, yeah, this is just type in Jack Murphy on Twitter, you'll find it. But at the end of the day, yeah, guys, this is what literally is happening right now, and this is literally weeks after Fresh and Fit got exposed as well. Like, I'm not blaming Tim for having Jack on. Obviously, you know, look, it's probably been pre-booked for months in advance, and obviously at the end of the day, also you probably find that Tim was like, hey, well, we're definitely going to have him on because that'll be good for views. Same reason why he had Fresh and Fit on a couple of days after, or a couple of weeks after they were exposed as well. I'm not blaming Tim here for that. Obviously, he's just striking while the iron's hot. But as for Jack Murphy, dude, I really knew of you. I sort of thought, oh yeah, you seem like a nice guy. Right now, mate, I have no time for you at all. Like I said, what you and your girl do in the privacy of your own home, or even the privacy of Chatterbait, is entirely up to you guys. But my problem isn't what he was doing. He wants to stick dildos up his ass, go for it. My problem is at the end of the day, is that he's supposedly selling a book on how to be an alpha male when he's literally been the opposite. And right now he is doing the ultimate Karen, so to speak. He is becoming a little bitch. And to be honest, I can't stand hypocrites. Look, we've all done things in our private lives that would probably make people cringe. You know, no one's history is perfect. You know, I've never stuck things up my ass. Never thought to. Never wanted to. Never had a girlfriend go off and F some other guy while I sat at home and wrote an article about it. Never did that either. So, I don't know. Maybe Jack's just a little bit more alpha than me, right? Because let me know your thoughts out in that comment section below. Welcome to the Exposed Club, I suppose, Jack. You and Fresh Fit, literally in 2 weeks, you guys have been exposed. Have a great night. Enjoy, everybody, and we'll see you all in the next Nonpartisan video from YouTube. Have a great night.